The meet was set for 9 a.m. at Belgium's second best-known racetrack, Zolder. And at precisely 9 o'clock, our German rivals arrived in their impressive German cars.
Typisch. Wir sind pünktlich.
Ah ja, wir machen die gleich lang, dann fahren wir wieder nach Hause. Ist kein Akt, können wir mal 5 Minuten warten, oder?
In fact, we were not late. We were simply arriving in style.
We're on our own, we're playing for time, and it's running out.
I think we might have overdone this.
Oh, it could be worse. Could have come in the back of Bobby Charlton.
Jeremy!
How are you?
Hi.
Good to see you. Good to see you. How are you?
Our small talk was friendly, but to be honest, we were a bit nervous.
Yeah.
Sure, they had a jolly man in a suit. He's called Karsten von Riesen, and he has no racing experience at all. But then they also had Tim Schrick, a touring car driver, and Sabine Schmitz, the Nürburgring specialist. And they were up against us lot. The first challenge had been dreamed up by the Germans. It's called double-decker racing, and the idea is very simple. The car on the bottom has a throttle, brakes and gears, but no steering wheel, because that's fitted to the car on the top.
Now, because there are only 3 presenters on each side and you need 8 people to operate the 4 cars, each team is allowed to get someone from their film crew to help out. And that's a problem for the Germans because while they have a sound recordist, a cameraman and a director, he is the same man. So their coverage of this race is going to look like this. Mind you, it's not that brilliant for us, because although we have a very large film crew, there was only 1 volunteer to sit above me, and if I'm honest, it's not the one I would have picked.
Still, he is very brave. He once fought a shark. He lost, but anyway.
We do 6 laps, and we have 6 white stripes.
Okay.
If you finish the first one, you take 1 off.
Okay.
James?
Yeah?
Will you promise to use the throttle and not just the brake?
It's a bit odd not having a steering wheel.
These Metros always had quite good steering, so this is a good way round to do it.
It doesn't make any difference, you idiot.
No, the steering's done by the Metro.
I know, but you're steering the Jag.
The good thing here is they've got Golfs on the roof. Now, Golfs are heavy. Metros are made out of snakeskin.
Right. Here we go.
Yes!
Oh, hang on, Jeremy!
We've got an early lead! Yeah!
We're already at the back!
Jesus, that's going to roll over if we're not careful.
At the end of lap 1, the German system was working well.
Abreißen!
Whereas in the Metro squadron...
Yeah. No, left! No, what are you doing? Left, left, left! No.
Left! Smooth!
Kev, right!
Then there was a complete communication breakdown.
Up!
Whoa, whoa, left, left, left!
The Germans were now first and second.
It's a disaster!
And then there was another one. My wingmen went mad.
Take him on the inside. Whoa! No, 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 no!
What the hell have you done that for?
What do you mean?
Ja, just keep it! Oh, sind die doof?
That was your fault.
How can it be my fault? You're on the bloody steering.
James and Richard think it's all over, and they're right.
Oh, rubbish. You steered into the gravel. It's designed to stop Formula One cars. How the hell did you think a Jaguar with a Metro on its roof?
This was our darkest hour.
We're being annihilated.
With us out, all we could hope was that Jeremy and Kiff the Soundman would race on cleanly and fairly.
Ram him! Ram! Go, Kip! Yes, they've gone wrong! Kip, we've got him!
Tim Schrick was not just off, he was out. Now it was just us versus Sabina and the man in a suit.
Help yourself, Kip, there's no fighter escort. On the inside! Bath, yes! Go, Kip! They've gone down!
Auslo! Gut, Carsten, perfect!
Keen to defend his country and his job on Top Gear, Kiff made a bold move.
That's giving them something to think about.
It also gave us something to think about.
Whoa, Jeremy! Jeremy, my arms come off!
What?
My arms come off!
Nobody's ever said that in a car race before.
We were now on the last lap.
Get up the inside, Kip, with one arm! Left!
This is quite difficult now, Jeremy!
What? Oh, no, it's the finish! No! I've let Britain down! Oh, no!
Hopefully, though, we could redeem ourselves in the next challenge.
Now, imagine you're driving along one day and suddenly you veer off into a lake. It does happen, seriously. It does happen, seriously. Every year in Britain, more people drown in cars than on boating lakes. It's absolutely true. So, I decided, well, Jeremy and James decided that I should investigate this by drowning myself.
First, stunt coordinator Sean Rogers took me aside for a quiet word.
So this is not to scare you, it's just to show you how quickly this car could fill up, all right?
Okay.
Now if you wait, talking about the water coming in.
And that's it.
And now it's gone.
That's quick, isn't it?
Okay? So you haven't got time to muck about.
Now, obviously, it isn't a good idea to simply drive a car into a lake and see what happens. Instead, we've got ourselves a tank and some safety divers. Now all I need to do is learn some basic diving techniques, just in case things go wrong. Before we did the stunt for real, I had to go underwater to practice the emergency hand signals in case there was a problem and the divers had to give me air. Then, just to spice things up a bit, they ripped my face mask off without warning. And sure enough, within seconds, I was breathing water. Not a good start. And then, to add insult to my likely injuries, I got first sight of my potential coffin. An F-Reg Vauxhall Carlton. Not even a GSI. Oh, thank you. As the time approached to actually do this, even though I knew I had a host of safety people around me to make sure I was okay, I've got to confess, my nerves were on edge.
Okay.
I'm swinging above the water in a car, about to have a horrible accident. Real fear. A real sense of fear.
Okay. Richard, you
Yeah.
okay?
I'm okay.
Ready, Fred? Divers ready? Okay, stand by. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, action!
And we'll find out later if I die.
The launch site was a military base whose whereabouts are a top secret. The build began, and soon the main fuel tank was assembled and attached to the launch pad, together with the solid rocket boosters. These parts contained the 8.5 tons of rocket power that would take the Reliant up into the heavens.
Here's what terrifies me. As it is here on that, let's be honest, bit of scaffolding.
Yeah.
Just the tiniest, you know, like that's Birmingham or that's John and Groats.
Look, it's fine. It's held down with some old concrete blocks and some straps that you use to hold furniture down in a removal van. That's perfect.
Right, there must be something useful we can do somewhere.
As it happened, there was. We were sent off to dig a bunker for Steve, the model airplane pilot who would glide the Reliant in. But that wasn't easy, because the launch site is littered with unexploded bombs.
Thank you for choosing a precision metal detector. With your metal detector, you can hunt for coins, relics, jewellery, gold and silver just about anywhere.
Does it say bombs?
No.
James had bought his metal detector at Argos. So I got myself some serious body armour.
You found my JCB?
I've just worked out something, though, from this. It only works down to a depth of about 3 inches.
As it turned out, it all went rather well. In the main.
Look what he's done! You Philistine!
Finally, our bunker was finished.
So that's it then. Good.
With Steve now fully protected, we went back to the launch site, where there was good news. Bang on time for its date with Destiny, the Reliant Robin had arrived.
You're all right. You're all right.
Keep it coming.
You're all right.
On that line.
You're all right.
Yep.
You're all right. Back.
Nice. And stop. That is the business end of a reusable Reliant orbiter.
Wow.
Then we were entrusted with another job.
I reveal to you the legend.
You spanner.
What? That's where it goes on the
But
wing.
think what it's going to look like when it's up there, pointing upwards.
Brilliant.
Upside down.
As night fell, the most delicate and risky part of the operation began. Attaching the Reliant space orbiter to the rockets and fuel tank.
Not kidding, this bit is genuinely very scary because as they're mounting it up, and it's quite complicated, all the linkages, if the shuttle clonks it and bends any of the release mechanisms, it won't come off, and then the shuttle and the tank will come down.
Should we go over and help?
I think not.
Did you hear that really unnatural thing he said just now?
What?
Right, come on lads, let's get this Robin. Oh, ladder's coming out.
Again, at NASA, they don't keep a step ladder on the launch pad. One small step ladder. Don't stop laughing, they get really cross.
Finally, the Robin was attached and the completed space shuttle made for a truly awesome sight. Everything was looking good. But later, in our suite at the local Ritz Sheraton, I was a worried man.
Hammond?
What?
What do you think the chances are of it actually working?
It'll work.
It's just that, you know, when we do these big things, they usually end in some sort of massive disaster. I'd quite like this one to work.
Well, it's up, it's built, but it's worth a quick reminder of exactly what is going to happen.
Absolutely. We've got 8.5 tons of rocket thrust to push that thing off the ground at about 1,000 feet. The two solid rocket boosters will be empty. They will fall away and come down on parachutes, doing about 100 miles an hour then.
Yeah, it'll continue accelerating to about 140. Then at about 3,000 feet, the orbiter itself will detach from the main body. That's when Steve, the pilot, takes control. It's his job to glide it in. He has the option of firing 3 rockets to extend that glide. He'll then put it down on the deck on the landing strip and prove that it's a reusable craft.
Yeah.
Of course, all that we've just said is just words.
Words,
because
yep.
to be honest, who knows?
The last few hours were taken up with final preparations, and with such an ambitious project as this, the complexity of the onboard systems was simply staggering. Each electronic component had to talk to every other electronic component at exactly the right time.
There have been 1 or 2 delays. Most of these are of an electrical nature. There's a long wire leading from launch control down to the rocket, and unfortunately that had a break in it somewhere.
James, a cow ran through it.
Yeah, OK, but that's all sorted. We are now fueling the bird. And once that's done, there can be no delays. It's full of fuels. They're going to have to light that candle.
Yeah.
The tension now was almost unbearable. You could almost hear Jeremy preparing some intergalactic smugness. So, would it stay on course during the ascent? Would the rockets and fuel tank detach? And would Steve, who by the way had refused our kind offer of a bunker, be able to pilot the Robin down safely? In just a few seconds, we'd know.
Separate! Separate!
12 1,000! Separate! Right!
That's why.
How are you going to use it again?
This is what they've come up with, the Range Rover Sport.
They say that making it was a challenge, and I'm not surprised, because things which are tall are not sporty. I know this.
Even so, this new car goes from 0 to 60 in 7 seconds. And it has so much power that the top speed has had to be pegged at 140 to stop the tyres bursting. And what's more, Land Rover say it's not just fast in a straight line. They say that thanks to some fancy new anti-roll bars, it can also handle the bends.
They're right, it does. The steering's sharp, the brakes are massive, it doesn't roll too much. Bump and then a bend, and it just takes it all in its stride. Anyway, it's very, very good, this. It's really very, very good.
I'd say it was even more nimble than a Porsche Cayenne Turbo, and more comfortable, and more economical. Probably do 12 miles to the gallon, if you're careful.
And then there's the driving position. See, in a normal off-road car, you sit up high and you have to kind of reach down to operate everything. But in this, I'm still sitting high up, but they've raised the center console and the whole dashboard, so I feel cocooned, like I'm in the cockpit of a fighter bomber. We're now cruising at 35,000 feet, which we are.
So, quite an achievement then, turning a mud-plugging Range Rover into a growling Nighthawk mud mover. Except they haven't, because this isn't a Range Rover. I know it looks like a Range Rover, but the Sport is 5 inches shorter and lower. The two cars don't share a single piece of bodywork, and it's the same story underneath. The chassis is from the new Discovery. The brakes are from Brembo. The supercharged 4.2-litre V8 engine is from Jaguar, and so's the steering. And it uses the same sort of suspension components as a Porsche 911. Sounds great, but there are some drawbacks.
If that pulled up outside your house, you'd think, oh no, a drug dealer is here. And then there are some of the details. I mean, the radiator grille, for example, looks like the sort of towel rail that would be bought by the left back for Cheshire United. Then you've got this black stuff here around the bottom of the window. I know why they've done it, to cover up the fact the dashboard's been raised, but it's ugly. And so are the side skirts. But the worst thing of all is the tailgate, because on a proper Range Rover, it splits like that. On this one, you can either open the rear window for no reason that I can think of, or you can open the whole tailgate. Fine, but you're at a point-to-point, okay? Without a flappy bit down here, where do you sit?
Of course, the Sport is cheaper than a proper Range Rover. You can have one with a turbo diesel V6 for £34,000, which is almost cheaper than a horse.
But I'm sorry, you can't have this car with a diesel engine. It'd be like saying, well, I won't go to Stringfellows tonight, I'll get my mum to give me a lap dance. She's a woman? Yeah, but...
You have to have this £59,000 supercharged V8 because, taste and tailgate aside, it really does seem to have all the bases covered. It's a high-riding fat boy hot hatch, a satellite-guided stereo with 20-inch rim.
It's also a 140-mile-an-hour mobile phone, it's a living room, it's got a fridge, and I'm fairly sure that somewhere in here there's a tool for getting the stones out of horses' hooves.
It seems to do everything. But does it? Because it now has sports steering and sports suspension and a sporty spoiler at the front, does it mean it no longer works off-road? Well, to find out, we've devised a little test. This is a Challenger 2 tank. It has a 12-cylinder diesel engine which produces 1,200 horsepower, and that's enough for a top speed of nearly 40 miles an hour. Not bad for something which weighs 62 tons.
The thing I'm most interested in, though, is the big gun, which, as you can see, is rifled for greater accuracy. Not like those smoothbore American ones that just hit something over there. It fires a smorgasbord of ammunition, chief among which really you've got high explosive rounds which hit the target and blow it to pieces, or the depleted uranium rounds which penetrate the armour on the target and give everyone inside 2 heads. The idea is that I've got to drive the Range Rover Sport from here, okay, to those woods over there, and you've got to see if you can get your gun pointed at me in such a way that if you push the fire button, that'd be history. Who's the gunner? Who's the one that... You're the gunner?
Yep.
Engaging
I'll be
me.
keeping you in my sight.
Trying? You'll be trying
I
to keep...
will be.
So, how old are you?
Me, 26.
26. Thinks he knows everything. Just watch this. Watch this.
So here we are on the start line, Goliath and David Beckham.
I have a cunning plan. You see, they'll be expecting me to go forwards because that's where the destination is. Ready?
3, 2, 1, now!
God, that barrel turns quickly, but not quickly enough. And straight into the woods.
High reverse.
I've read enough war comics to know that tanks can't go in woods.
Halt!
Because they can't move their barrel around. I'm light, I'm nimble, I'm agile.
Oh! Firing! Me!
What I hadn't read, though, was the war comic featuring the Challenger's secret weapon.
Left smoke.
What in the name of all that's holy is he doing? He's making smoke! I can't see anything!
Keep tracking, pick him up.
If I don't get going soon, my big hot supercharger will be a red glow on his thermal imaging camera.
I was stuck in the woods being turned into a kipper, so I decided to deploy the car's tyre-bursting speed.
Away we go.
Bounce.
Over rough ground, the Challenger 2 is the fastest tank in the world. Now I'm doing 40 miles an hour. The tank can go that fast, though. Oh no, I seem to have brought Puff Daddy's car to the Somme. This is where I've had it. You can't drive an off-road car, not even one as good as this, over this kind of surface fast, and you can with a tank.
Speed wasn't working. I couldn't break free from that gun.
Okay, mate's hard right, Stig. Woody, hard Travis right.
I need some cover. Now what are you going to do? Because I can outturn you, sunshine.
Right, he's going around the circus a little.
Now, you see, what I've done brilliantly is hidden behind these bushes. So I'm fully protected from the high explosive round by the branches.
Get around the corner.
But then it dawned on me that the branches might not actually stop the shell.
Look at this, watch what I can do here. Sneak behind him, he doesn't know. Yes! Stumped by my agility. Yeah. And I'm making smoke. Oh, yes.
In seconds, though, he was back on my tail.
Gotta say, I know it's not the most important thing at the moment, but some of the ride comfort has been lost by turning the Range Rover into a sport model.
There was no way I could survive in open ground.
I've got him. Okay, nail him.
Firing! Missed him!
Because that turret can do a full rotation in 9 seconds. So my last chance was to try some serious off-roading.
if I can get down to the bottom of this ridge here, he won't be able to come down. Oh, but I've got, wait a minute, neutral. Hold on, that's on. Low range. Come on, hurry up! He can't follow me down here, and when I'm at the bottom, his gun won't go low enough to be able to get me. He's just coming down.
Creep down, creep down, creep down.
So if I get back up again, don't let me down now. Do not let me down now.
Left stick, hard left stick, hard left stick.
Be good off-road.
Kick around, kick around, kick around, kick around. Power.
Be a good off-road car. You are. Oh, yes. I have to say, I really was expecting this to be useless off-road, and it just isn't.
That bought me some more time, but not much.
This really is just a battle of range, who runs out of fuel first. And that's a bad plan, because I suspect it's going to be me. You can't get away from it. It is really a very, very good off-road car, this. It really is. But if you're planning on invading another country, use a tank.
Come on, hit it now.
Firing! Target!
Target stopped. 1 times Clarkson destroyed. Well done.
I don't know if this is coming across in the images you're seeing at home, but the sensation of being in a car but on the railway is just the maddest thing I've ever seen out of the window. It's a railway!
Refreshments, gentlemen.
Oh, it doesn't fit. Across the little bridge, the water on the left. While I was sightseeing, Jeremy was finally leaving the station in his idiotic sports train.
TGV-12 is up and running. Let me talk you through my passengers. The man on the left, he's just a man, but the man on the right, that is the editor of Rail Express magazine, and I need to impress him. He's going to be reviewing this experience.
Clearly, the best way of impressing him would be to beat Hammond and May to our destination.
Come on, let's build up that speed. Taking it up now to 40. Few bugs there smashing into the face of the editor of Railway Express magazine. The wind in your hair, the bees in your face. V12 power. The editor of Railway Express magazine, basking in the shadow of my magnificence. Oh, a train. Oh my God.
Meanwhile, further up the line, May had also got his foot down.
25 miles an hour.
But this turn of speed was causing a few problems.
The cruise control works. Look at that. I'm now doing nothing.
It wasn't just the vibrations that were bothering the inspectors, the noise was also an issue.
What?
Do you think it's safe?
I can't hear you.
Do you think it's safe?
No. Discussion before, but how do we communicate in an emergency? Is there a communication cord to stop the train? Yes.
Where's that? I'm going to check it, actually. I'm about to ask the driver, Mr. May, to slow down a little bit just while we're serving the drinks.
Meanwhile, I'd caught up with the idiots, but I couldn't get past due to a railway network design fault.
Even here, we're stuck behind caravans.
If I'm honest, though, that wasn't the most immediate problem.
Oh, for God's sake! Oh, this is really bad. A member of the working classes is now taking a dump in full view of the editor of Railway Express magazine. Oh, whoa, no, whoa, 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 whoa. I'm very sorry about this. I can't just drive along like this forever. I'm backing off.
I decided to go back in search of some points where I could change tracks.
I do apologise. I do apologise.
With Jeremy going backwards, James and I decided we had time to stop at the next station.
Tiny bit of braking. See, this is how you drive a train. It's about finesse.
James, stop! James, stop!
James, we're bloody miles off.
I'm going to back up. Ladies and gentlemen, if you'd like to stretch your legs at this intermediate station, then apologies for the overshoot.
That was an overshoot.
Stop doing the f***ing announcements! That's my job! Ladies and gentlemen, we're just pulling into the station in case you might want to stretch your legs, perhaps, or maybe have a walk. Allow me, please. Yeah.
Bloody hell.
Guys?
You don't have to be wearing a short skirt, do you?
Oh.
Thank you.
Just discovered a small design fault with the TGV-12. Then going backwards, you have to have the bonnet up to keep the engine cool because obviously there's no air going into the radiator, and I can't see anything out of the back. So the first I'll know about a derailment is when we hear death and screaming from the rear carriage.
Back at the station, the inspectors were busy doing some inspecting.
What was the noise decibel level? 108 it peaked at. It's higher than anything I've ever measured.
Just under 60, so that's not wide enough for disabled access.
Good for people with one arm, there's only one armrest.
It's the flammability is what worried me, actually. I think my general consideration is not a train with a death trap.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed your brief stopover at Cornham Woodhouse Station. We will now be departing again for near Loughborough.
Come on!
Meanwhile, I'd found a set of points where I could switch to the other track.
Yes, now this is more of a palaver than on the motorway, but I am now in the overtaking lane. Yes, I am. Let's go and hunt down James May. We're really moving now! 70 miles an hour! Yes! That massive rear spoiler providing the downforce we need. My passengers are looking thrilled.
And now I would show May that speed is right, speed is good, speed works.
There he is. James May is about to be splashed by the mighty wheel-spinning TGV-12.
Clarks.
God! How did he do that?
The sports train is invincible. Ever since the dawn of the train, it's been mired in this sea of turgid practicality. Nobody's ever thought, let's make an exciting train. And here I am, in just such a thing. On Hammond and May's train, it's just one long, dreary trail of boredom. Brace, brace! Some poo's come out.
OBEs and MBEs. Richard Hammond, your steward, will be passing through shortly with hot meals. Right.
Oh, wait a minute.
Now, since hunting was banned, one sees the horses frolicking gaily in the fields, enjoying...
Forgive me while I just back off and have a bit of a gloat.
If we look over here, we see traditional farming methods, and I think that pretty much covers the lecture. I'm just doing a lecture on the countryside. Nothing to see here, and that's it. So now we'll be on our way.
Oh dear! Bye! People of first class.
Once again, the editor of Railway Express magazine was heading back towards Leicester. Although this time I had at least found a novel way of seeing where I was going.
Ignore the enormous locomotive behind me. It's a glitch, really. Not my fault.
Our train was now certain of beating Jeremy's to near Loughborough.
This is just serene.
However, in the buffet car, things weren't going so well.
Ladies and gentlemen, please brace yourself. The incompetent steward is about to pour tepid coffee into your crotch.
For Christ's sake, James, stop making announcements. That's my job. I'm the steward. You drive. I steward.
It's my train and the driver makes the bleeding announcements. That's the way it is.
I had finally found a passing point and was now back in the chase.
Really shifting now. Really, really, really moving. No time to lose. 80 miles an hour. Ha ha!
Meanwhile...
Penis is my tannoy.
Hello, chaps. Can I offer you refreshments?
Certainly. You got a coffee, please?
No.
Do you have any chance for a Danish pastry, please?
No.
Oh, slow it down by 1 mile an hour. This isn't the fastest train in the world. I'm sure Jeremy will claim his goes faster, but ours carries more people. And that's the point of a train. It's mass transport. I mean, what Jeremy's built essentially is a business jet, but that's out of the reach of the vast majority of people.
Anything else I can get you? Red wine? No, no.
Oh dear. It appears my colleagues have a bit of a problem. James?
What?
Your train's on fire.
Is it?
Yes, it is.
Right.
Well, there we are. Very nearly at the end now. And what an epic voyage this has been. Leicester, well, nearly Leicester, to the outskirts of Loughborough, a distance of nearly 8 miles. And the sports train just about done it. Easing it down now. Should imagine there'll be a fanfare. The mayor of Loughborough is almost certainly going to be here. Oh, he isn't. No, nobody is. Throughout this epic voyage, I have referred to this as either the TGV-12 or the sports train. But I don't think that's right. I don't think that does it justice. I think that the editor and the other man will agree that what you are looking at here is the future. And all we must do now is await the arrival of my less successful colleagues.
No, listen, if you ignore the fire and the fact that we didn't get where we wanted to go, it was incredibly noisy, and the fact that all the passengers have run away.
Apart from that, it was a resounding success.
Yeah, I think we can only judge it to be a success. It worked as a train. We came up with something new and unique and brilliant.
Well, I think as a concept,
oh, hello.
Hello,
locomotive
nice.
man.
But the fact is...
Yes, the 1,000 horsepower legend is back. And if I'm honest, I'm a bit nervous.
Not because of the car itself, but because of the burden that now rests on my shoulders.
Because when Jeremy drove the Veyron, all he had to beat was an incompetent James in a useless little aeroplane.
Then when James went to Germany and maxed it, the car didn't even break sweat.
But this time, the Veyron's honour really is at stake, because never before has it gone up against something like this.
The most modern, the most high-tech strike fighter on the planet. The Eurofighter Typhoon. And for once, when it comes to figures, the Bugatti really is well and truly top-trumped. Its twin engines develop 20,000 pounds of thrust each, punching the Eurofighter up to 65,000 feet and a top speed of over 1,500 miles an hour. This machine is the cutting edge of what a plane can do. It's actually designed to be aerodynamically unstable to make it as agile as possible in a dogfight. So it needs 70 computers to keep it in the air. And if they fail, it would simply fall out of the sky.
It's kind of a mix of science fiction and brute strength. These wings, for example, have to be able to take the stresses and strains of all those extreme high-speed manoeuvres. So they might look all slim and dainty, but each one can take the weight of 35 Volkswagen Golfs.
All in all, quite a handy bit of kit, as you'd expect at 67 million a pop. Faced with the clear and present danger of the Eurofighter, the Bugatti Veyron really is the car world's best shot at clinging to some honour. And no one knows what the outcome will be. In fact, Bugatti is so concerned, they've sent over not one, but 2 Veyrons. Maybe they're going to tie them together or something. The shootout will take place here, on the main runway at RAF Coningsby in Lincolnshire.
And here's the challenge. It's a horizontal versus vertical drag race over 2 miles. Here's the start-finish line and the car and the plane. Yeah, it's difficult to get hold of models of a Veyron and a Eurofighter. They both start from here. The car will race down the runway for a mile. When it reaches the mile marker, turn as quickly as possible and then race back down over the same mile to cross the start-finish line here. Meanwhile, the plane will set off and take off as quickly as possible and cover a mile, vertically, obviously. When it's done the mile, it turns and swoops back down the same mile to cross the start-finish line. Or to crash into a £1 million supercar that he didn't expect to see, and YouTube has a field day. Otherwise, his last one to finish is a vegetarian. Simple as that.
Now, you might think the plane is going to walk it. But don't be so sure.
The car should have the edge off the line. It'll do 0 to 100 in 5.7 seconds, for God's sake.
And when it gets to these yellow dots, which mark the mile point where it has to turn around, the Veyron has another advantage.
Down here, its awesome brakes should come into play.
And then there's the air brake as well, which on its own generates the same stopping power as you'd get in a normal hatchback.
Straight line is a straight line, so the car does what it does there. But up here, I've got to brake as late as possible and lose as little time as possible making the turn before the return mile. So I reckon it'll be won or lost here at this end. Traction control off, gearbox to manual, launch control, left foot on brake, give it the full beans on the throttle. This is it.
Stand by one, give me 20 seconds.
As drag races go, you will agree, this is quite a good one. So I'm fighting for the Germans in a battle against the RAF. If you're watching thinking this is cool, it is.
After just 18 seconds, I was doing 188 miles an hour and getting ready to brake for the mile turn.
That's as late as a dare. This is where it's won or lost. I'm on the return mile now. This is the best race in history. If I mess this one up, I might as well get a paper round.
I was doing 196 miles an hour, but was it enough?
I must still be ahead. I can't see the plane. I suspect I may get some abuse for this. This is a canoe, or kayak to be precise, and it's rubbish because it doesn't have an engine. But where there's a will,
there's always a way. This is the world's first engine-powered canoe. It took 2.5 years to make, and it's got a jet at the back, powered by the world's flattest two-stroke motor, which sits here, right where your bottom goes.
So, where ordinary canoes can be overtaken by ducks, this one blasts across the water like a jet-propelled eel.
This amazing machine is the brainchild of Sean Baker, 9 times British whitewater freestyle champion and holder of 4 world records, including one for kayaking 65 feet down a sheer vertical waterfall.
Now, obviously, we wanted to find out if this jet-propelled canoe kayak is any good, which is why we've come here, to Iceland. In fact, we've come to one of the most incredible parts of an already generally amazing country. the ice lake. It's formed where a giant glacier meets a lagoon and then breaks apart to form a sea of, well, massive ice cubes.
So, we're going to have a race, starting at one end of the lake and running roughly 2 miles to the finish line at the bridge where the lake meets the sea. I shall be using the roads along the edge.
Now, those roads are very tough and Icelandic, so I need a vehicle that's very tough and Icelandic.
It's called a Tomcat, and it's what happens when you take British engineering and garnish it with Icelandic levels of lunacy. It's got plastic body panels for super lightness, a 4-litre TVR V8 for super power, and a Range Rover chassis for super strength. Put all that together and you've got a 1.5-ton 4x4 that can outrun a Subaru Impreza rally car.
So, Sean, talk to me about danger. I'm presuming there's, well, quite a lot of it.
Well, when we're bombing around, the wake from the back of the boat's obviously snapping off little bits of ice, and that starts to float in the water. And if that gets sucked up in through the intake grate on the bottom of the boat and jams into the prop, it's just going to cut the engine out. And of course, it doesn't float, which isn't good.
And this isn't going to help you.
No, I'm going down.
So really, the biggest danger facing the jet-propelled kayaker is ice.
Is ice.
As I sat at the start, I still didn't quite believe that a jet-powered kayak would work. It did.
It's a bad start. I'm away now. The car is sashaying around. It's like a fine layer of stones on volcanic ash, which is very interesting on a geography field trip, but bloody scary to drive on. I've had to come such a long way from the lake now to find a path. He's got to go so much less distance than me.
Sean has his problems too. He's negotiating a maze of floating ice in search of open water, but the ice is constantly shifting and blocking his path.
Basically, if there's ice, he's had it. I hope there's ice. Ooh, that hurt! Come on!
Surely Sean must be tiring. His buttocks are being roasted by the engine and the constant course adjustments are straining his arms.
I'm right back down by the water again. Yoo-hoo! Come on! I don't know where he is, I don't know where he is. He's there! Come on then, Canoe boy! How fast does that thing go? Come on! I can't lose this! This is it, this is it, this is the bridge! Number one! No! I don't believe that!
See ya!
Where's an iceberg when you need one? Honestly. Today we'll be using this huge airfield as our playground.
We're staying pretty faithful to the game you know and love, but we've just gone a bit more ambitious.
Now, instead of string, we've got these huge cranes that we can hang stuff from and then swing it about with gay abandon.
All we need now is some conkers.
And here they are, 6 ripe beauties that fell from the old fiberglass chestnut tree.
And the rules are really child's play. First, we choose 3 conkers each.
See, I was going to go for this Sprite Musketeer for one of mine. Because
oh, look at Monza!
This has got a galvanised chassis, which yours hasn't.
Sturdy stuff, then.
Now, in real conkers, the skill is in the choosing of your conker. You might have a 3er, but the other bloke could pull out a 9er.
And it's the same here today, but different. The skill is in the choice of caravan.
I, for example, have gone for this 1983 Eccles Amethyst 2-berth with flip-down sink, porta-potty and an all-up weight of 530 kilograms.
I've gone for this 4-berth Piper 415. At 700 kilos, it's a big one.
Unfortunately, health and safety have found out about our conker game and have stepped in with some precautions.
There you go, I now feel perfectly happy about being hit in the face by a caravan.
The conkers are a splendid 50 feet apart, and Richard will take first swing. Hammond is expecting victory with the much heavier Piper.
Right, here we go. Our first conker of the season. 3, 2, 1.
That's lovely.
Oh, no! No, it's mine! Yes!
At first, it looked as though David had felled Goliath. But then, the 2-berth Amethyst crumbled.
Oh, I don't know. I've still got one wall left. Hang on, it's not over yet.
It's still conking. 1-0. James, we are grown men playing conkers with caravans.
That's okay. It's better than working in a bank.
Round 2. It's my turn to swing, and Richard has gone for a Monza.
Against it, I'm going to pitch the Sprite Musketeer, 630 kilograms.
So 690 for the Monza. It's lighter. You've had it.
The Monza is weakened.
Victory! Oh, that's got it! Oh, my Monza! Yes, look! Oh!
Yes! Yes! That's magnificent! Right, I won that one.
So, as is the way in television, the scores are level as we go into the final round. It's James's turn to swing again, but I am noisily confident.
Let me just tell you what you're going up against here.
Yeah?
That's an Abbey GT, 754 kilos. It's the heaviest one we've had. It's got hot and cold running water, a separate bathroom. It's the most modern. It's a winner, you've had it.
I think I'm worried. One for all and all for one, mate.
James's Musketeer is battered, but defiant.
3, 2, 1, die!
Oh, look, just give up.
Oh,
no! I'm sorry, mate, the Musketeer bought the farm.
You are the winner of Caravan Conkers.
Yes! A lifelong ambition achieved.
This is a quarry, and here, painted on the floor of the quarry, is a very big dartboard.
Up here on this cliff, we have 6 used cars, which, if you squint, could look a bit like darts. So, dartboard, cars. I think you can see where this is going.
We're going to take it in turns to throw our darts at the dartboard. 3 darts each, the highest score wins. Probably a speedboat or something.
Now, because these cars weigh a little bit more than the average pub arrows, we'll need this. Our mega powerful James Bond cannon.
It works using nitrogen, compressed at about 1,400 psi. It comes out of the end of the cannon, and it'll power the car forwards with a thrust of about 20 tonnes. Now, the important thing to know is this. We can vary the amount of pressure, which will affect the distance and the angle of the car. So we've got control over the power and the elevation. So there is some skill in this. Oh, yes.
Because we have such a motley collection of cars, we thought we'd start with two of roughly equal weight to get our eye in. The Vauxhall Astra and the Ford Orion. But who was to throw first?
1, 2, 3. But
that was fair. I didn't...
Now, I have no idea what I'm doing, so here goes nothing.
Are we ready? Yes! That's a 25.
Yeah, all right, 25. No, I'll grant you that. That's the coolest thing I've ever seen. Right, my go. I always liked that shape of Astra. My dad had one, I crashed it.
You're going to crash this one in a minute.
Big style. Fractionally up from there.
That is an overshoot, if ever I saw one.
Just look and learn. Oh, that's it. It's a 25.
That's a 10. It landed in a 10 easily.
James, that is more 25 than yours. The entire car is on
where the car lands. It landed in the. Look
no,
at
it didn't.
That.
That's where that. No, it didn't.
That landed in the 10.
This is where
the groove in the ground where the car
and
landed.
Anyway, actually, no, the front would have been in the 25.
Rubbish. Here is where the Vauxhall badge
This is rather
off.
conveniently placed.
In the 10 circle. That's 10 points for you, making me 15 in front.
Yes.
So I get to choose cars. A full 1200 PSI, please. More elevation, about 40 degrees.
To make the bullseye a more exciting proposition, we've put a Caravan on it.
That Caravan, that is genius. Whoever thought of that addition?
It was me.
It's not a bad idea.
Fire!
That was rubbish. I mean, it was really good to watch, but it was just pathetic.
Maybe it's not as heavy as I thought.
Now, I've asked for 800.
I think you've overdone it.
Yeah, but there's plenty of elevation. I don't know how.
Fire!
It's a 5. I thought it was superb drama, but only a 5, I'm afraid.
I thought that was going in then. There. And I'm now on 15.
Yeah. Strike through the...
All right.
Yep.
This is James's last car, and he is well in the lead.
OK, James.
Are you ready for
I'm braced.
Yes!
Got to hit it.
No, it's got to hit it.
I have to admit that was a 5.
Still, it was a good one.
And that you were right.
Our final car is Hammond's Volvo. He's 15 points behind and needs either an inner or a bully to win. But the real prize would be the Caravan.
It's quite a happy coming together of Volvo and Caravan,
apt,
but not in the way that we would expect.
Fire!
Yes!
You can have that.
Oh, yes. That was a good feeling. Volvo kills Caravan. 50 points. Final scores. 30-65. But we are all winners because the Caravan bought it. Now, earlier on, we left me dangling above a tank of water in a large Vauxhall, which interestingly came in 74th in the survey. I can testify in a way that it lets water in. Now, this theory runs that you're supposed to sit in the car and let it fill up with water until the pressure equalises and you can open the door and get out. Well, let's see what really happened.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, action!
We're now on the water. Now, surprisingly, it's sinking fast from the back. I didn't expect that. I can hear the water coming in. It's around my feet. It's a very strange feeling. I feel the panic rising with the water. You can hear it in my voice. It's around my ankles. You'll think the central locking is going crazy. Now I can see the water up the glass, and that is scary. It's coming up to my stomach. It's controlling panic. I'm starting to get my breaths ready. We are leaning a lot as well. I'm going to save the last bit of air. Because it's no good thinking you could sit in here for ages. I'm going to have to take my last breath. We're going very sideways. This is very frightening.
Now remember, the theory goes that as soon as the car fills with water, the pressure should be equalised and the doors should open easily. But as the car sank, no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't open the door. It was 30 seconds since I'd taken my last breath, 30 seconds since I should have been able to open that door. But still, it wouldn't budge. I realised I wasn't going to get out. Eventually, the car hit the bottom of the tank, but it still took more precious seconds for the water pressure to equalise. Only then could I open the door and escape. If it was for real, I'm pretty sure I would have drowned.
So did you die in the making of that film?
Oh, yeah. I mean, if it was real, yes, I did.
And the thing is, it was very lucky you were in the GL model, because that was the one that did come with the diver in the back seat with the aqualung.
Yeah. If it had been an L, that would have been in curtains.
I just got to get straight in my head. If the thing's sinking, you have to wait for it to get to the bottom.
Yes, because as it sinks, there's always greater pressure on the outside, basically. It doesn't catch up until it stays at the same point.
So you have to wait for it to get to the bottom, then you can get out.
And then the pressure slowly equalises and you can get out and swim.
Which is all right if it's, what, 5, 10 feet deep?
Yeah, but I mean, it could be 150 feet. So that advice goes out the window, basically. And ROSPA now say, if you do drive into the water, get out as fast as you can. Don't mess about. So I gave that a go as well.
Did you die that time?
Well, let's find out.
5, 4, 3,
Here we go.
2, 1.
OK, we're going in from a big drop this time. Straight in the water. Now we'll try the windows. Nothing. I'm going to try the door. It's very difficult. Well, I went for the windows. As the advice says, nothing doing. And it sank quickly that time. But I went for the door straight away. And as I tried it, I feel like I've wrenched my arm. It started OK. As soon as the car started to descend, you could just feel it. It was just getting harder to do. So there you go. If you do drive into the drink, according to my experience and what ROSPA says, just get out as fast as you can.
A few minutes later, James and I arrived at the event, the Redcombe Wings and Wheels show.
Ooh, there's lots of valuable things not to crash into here.
The field was crammed with high-end exotics, which made our colleagues' arrival all the more embarrassing. With all three of us present, it was time for the prize giving.
Congratulations, Richard Hammond.
Thank you.
You have won. And as a special prize, you will be appearing in the air show.
The jammy sod had got himself a ride in one of the planes in the display. So while he went off to get ready, James and I consoled ourselves by checking out the exhibits.
It's lovely, isn't it?
It would be terrible by modern standards, but look at it.
It's just fabulous.
Very similar to my Fiat.
Yes. Yeah, I like this.
What, the Daytona? One of the prettiest cars.
Absolutely lovely.
This is an AC Ace. This was what Carroll Shelby dropped a V8 in, flared the arches, and created the Cobra. But this was the genesis of it. Fraser Nash. This is Tiffany-Dale arriving in the 50s at a
the
party.
Fraser Nash.
There's 101 brake horsepower per tonne. That's quite significant.
It's pretty good for then.
How much are these now?
$30 million.
Pounds, I would have thought. That's the 250 GTO. It's still just about the most expensive car in the world, isn't it? Most valuable car. Even standing near that gives me the fizz.
Meanwhile, I was now ready.
It's about the least happy I've ever been. And I've been pretty unhappy. Please don't come undone. Please do not come undone. Oh. Oh.
I got a letter from your commanding officer the other day.
Of course.
That's wrong, isn't it?